Hi everybody, good afternoon. Bet you didn't think you'd see us today. It's Randwick City Council's Sustainability Fair, and we're really sorry we can't see you in person, so we've got a special story time for you today. So welcome all of you out there watching today. And our theme is grow. But before I get onto that, I've got some special sort of messages from people and an acknowledgement to the custodians, caretakers of our country. And I'd like to acknowledge that we are here on the land of the Gadigal and Bidjigal peoples who traditionally occupied Sydney coast. And on behalf of Randwick City Council, I'd like to acknowledge Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people attending today and pay our respects to people's elders past and present. So thanks everybody for, thanks to the First Nation people looking after this beautiful land. And a very special welcome from our Mayor, Danny Said, who sends his best to everybody watching today. And did I introduce myself? My name's Liz, and I work as part of the children's team at Randwick City Library. And helping me today is my great colleague Jess, who's behind the camera and who I'll be chatting to as well.
Hello everybody.
And most of you will know Jess from her Rhyme Time and Babies segment that she does on Facebook. So it's not like being out there, but this is the new world, and we still have to remember that we still have to look after nature and our environment. It's really important for those of us who live here now and for future generations to look after and value the spaces that we have. And I've got some green leaves just to remind us, and I'm wearing some flowers today because it's spring and it's when the flowers come out, the trees start to get their flowers for the fruit, and it's when the world wakes up from its winter sleep and we welcome the new seasons with all the fantastic things that they bring us. And we're going to read some books about that too today, Jess.
Hey Liz, I have a question for you.
Yes, Jess.
What's your favourite coloured flower?
Oh, I think red.
Red is your favourite colour? Maybe people who are watching at home can comment their favourite colour flower as well.
Okay, I'm not wearing any red though, am I? I've got a bit of red.
Bit of red on you.
A bit of red on me. That would be great if anyone's out there watching us. So I thought that I'd start today. You know, when I was thinking about putting this together, I thought, what is the oldest living thing on the planet? I thought, what has been around for so long? Okay, and would you believe it's a tree?
Wow.
There are trees in an area of California. They're in a secret location so that they can be protected, and they are the oldest living thing. This is called the Great Basin bristlecone pine. And these trees are older than the pyramids. I mean, we seem to think that the pyramids are like from a long, long time ago, but these trees are alive and have been living that long. So they are living organisms. So that's one picture, and they call it Methuselah because Methuselah is a from in biblical times a long time ago. And there's another one of the trees nearby. So I thought that was fascinating, and see how beautiful and gnarly it is and how it's withstood weather and everything to be alive. So that I thought was pretty cool, that a tree could be, hi, we got somebody from home.
Yeah, we got Tracy watching from home.
Hi Tracy, welcome. Hope you enjoy our story time today. So that's the story of the tree, of the oldest living thing. And, you know, plants are alive just like humans. And why do we need trees? Trees are important. They give us fresh air. Trees are home to animals. And if we cut down all the trees, we would not have any air. They have no sort of oxygen. And then we've got trees and we've got plants. They're all part of the one big family. So there are many different kinds of plants. Some plants have flowers, some don't. Some give us fruit, some give us vegetables. Some plants are poisonous. Some have thorns and some are food for animals. And plants, you know where they start from, Jess?
Where do they start from?
Seeds.
Seeds!
Most of them anyway.
Oh, we were just playing with seeds.
We were in our mosaics. Plants have roots, they have stems, they have leaves, and they need soil and they need sun and water to live, just like all of us. Plants make their own food and plants give us oxygen as well. Here's a little bit about plants. And I've got a picture here of the life cycle of a plant.
What type of plant is that?
It's a bean plant.
Oh.
So we have the seed. You plant the seed and it sprouts roots. And then it grows into a green plant, adult plant. And then it has a flower. And from the flower, we get the bean. And then the circle starts over and over again. It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, that's very cool.
So that's what the stem and the roots look like.
Wow, look at all those roots.
Yeah. Now, plants need a very special transportation. The seeds need a transportation system. How do you think that happens?
I'm not sure, Liz. How does that happen?
They need a way to spread the seeds around so things can grow if people aren't around to grow them. There's a very special, the most valuable animal or insect on earth, and it is the bee.
Oh, buzz, buzz, buzz.
Buzz, buzz, buzz. Why bees matter. 85%, which is a lot, like a lot of plants exist because of bees. Bees are responsible for the quality of our food and safety. They are pollinators, which means they spread the seeds from place to place. So, you can thank the bees for the grasses that feed our cows. Without them, there'd be no milk, cheese, or beef, or lots of other things as well, vegan things as well. So we have the bees, and this is a picture of the bees at work doing their pollinating, going from flower to flower, carrying things around. And you know, some other plants grow because animals do, through their poop, they drop seeds. Did you know that?
Oh, really?
And they eat seeds and they poo with the seed in, and that's how they plant things in random places.
There you go.
And here's another picture of pollination.
Beautiful.
And since the theme is growing, we humans grow just like plants. So we start as a baby, and then we grow, and become adults. Anyway, they're just some facts about growing and plants and things. The first book I thought we'd read today, Jess, is called The Curious Garden.
Oh, I love this
You
story.
love the story?
Yeah.
And it's called The Curious Garden, and it's written by Peter Brown, and it's published by Little Brown Books. Okay. There once was a city without gardens or trees or greenery of any kind. Most people spent their time indoors. As you can imagine, it was a very dreary place. Imagine a place that has no greenery, no trees, nothing.
It'd be sad.
Very sad. However, there was one little boy who loved being outside. Even on drizzly days when everyone else stayed inside, you could always find Liam happily splashing through his neighbourhood. It was on one such morning that Liam made several surprising discoveries. He was wandering around the old railway, as he did from time to time, when he stumbled upon a dark stairwell leading up to the tracks. The railway had stopped working ages ago, and since Liam had always wanted to go explore the tracks, there was only one thing for the curious boy to do. Liam ran up the stairs, pushed open the door, and stepped onto the railway. The first thing he saw was a lonely patch of colour. Wildflowers and plants were the last things he expected to find up there. But when he took a closer look, it became clear that the plants were dying. They needed a gardener. Can you see them? They're just surviving in this sort of very sad world. Liam may not have been a gardener, but he knew that he could help. So he returned to the railway the very next day and got to work. The flowers nearly drowned, and he had a few pruning problems, but the plants patiently waited while Liam found better ways of gardening. I think that's one of the special things about nature, that we have to be patient and that we have to care for her and look after her. And Liam was wise enough to understand that. As the weeks rolled by, Liam began to feel like a real gardener, and the plants began to feel like a real garden. Can we see? Now he went from those dreary little plants. He's actually got quite a big garden area there in the tracks, and he's there with his bucket, hand watering this little garden. Most gardens stay in one place, but this was no ordinary garden. With miles of open railway ahead of it, the garden was growing restless, and it wanted to explore, just like Liam. The tough little weeds and mosses were the first thing to move. They popped up and farther down the tracks, and were closely followed by the more delicate plants. This is how we start, and it's growing and growing and growing and growing. Oh my goodness, can we see how far the garden is spreading? Over the next few months, Liam and the curious garden explored every corner of the railway. That garden was just waiting for someone to feed it and love it so that it could just thrive. It's going everywhere. It's running wild. After spending his spring and summer and autumn in the garden, Liam's time on the railway was finally interrupted by winter. Heavy blankets of snow fell on the city that season, and for the first time since he'd become a gardener, Liam could not visit the plants. Oh, he's hoping that the plants are going to be okay. Rather than waste his winter worrying about the garden, Liam spent his time preparing for the spring. After 3 cold months of snow, the snow finally began to melt, and Liam rolled his new gardening gear over to the railway. Winter had taken a bit of a toll on the garden, but thanks to Liam's planning, his handy new tools, and a little help from the sun, the plants soon woke up from their winter sleep. Oh, look, they've just come back more beautiful and plentiful than before. The garden had always wanted to explore the rest of the city, and that spring it was finally ready to make its move. Once again, the tough little weeds and mosses set out first. They popped up farther and farther from the railway and were closely followed by the more delicate plants. The garden was especially curious about old forgotten things. Oh, it took up residence in the car. Oh, in the side of the house. A few plants popped up where they didn't belong. Others mysteriously popped up all at once. What's happening to this city? But most surprising things that popped up were the new gardeners. It was like everybody wanted to be like Liam, and everybody wanted to make a garden somewhere. All over the apartment buildings, places where people didn't think they could have a garden. And people got very creative. Many years later, the entire city blossomed, but of all the new gardens, Liam's favourite was the one where it all began. Now look at that. Look what one little boy did. He changed the whole look of the whole city, and everybody got to enjoy and care for their new look city.
Beautiful.
That's called The Curious Garden. What else have we got? Plant the Tiny Seed by Christy Matheson and published by HarperCollins Children's Books. It's actually a Green Willow book. There's magic in this tiny seed. Press it down and count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Plant another one, then more. Press them down and count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wiggle your fingers to add some water. I've got 1, 2, 3, and a ladybird. That's enough. Next, rub the sun to make it hotter. Rubbing the sun, the water's coming out, and look what's happening. The seeds have started to grow. Tap the cloud. Tap, tap, cloud. Come on, sun. Now we need some rain. We've got some sun. Need some rain for our flowers to grow. Here comes the rain. Clap to bring the sun out again. Clap, clap. Our plants are growing. The seeds are growing. Find the worm. Look for its tail. Oh, I think it's there. Do you think that's its tail there? I see a snail. Shoo away the hungry snail. We need the plants to grow. Shoo, 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 shoo. Tell the little bud good night. Guess what you'll see in the morning light? Wow, now look, there's a purple flower. From that seed, we got the plant. And look what we've got, Jess, a purple flower.
Yay.
The rain and the sunshine. There's the buzz, 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 buzz. Tap the cloud again. The bees are buzzing around the flower.
Pollinating.
Pollinating. It's another rain shower. The blossoms. Touch them. Ooh. Now jiggle the plants to scatter the seeds. So we have to jiggle the flowers so the seeds fall down so that we can make more plants and more flowers. The purple flower needs a clip. Swipe across, snip, 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 snip. Close your eyes, wave your hand in the air. Oh, look, there's magic everywhere. Flowers, birds, bees. So from that tiny seed, we have a busy garden. That's a funny little book. Have we got, yeah, hi.
We can say hi to Christine and Deborah.
Hi, Christine. Hi, Deborah. Thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying our session today. We've got a really lovely book called Florette, which I'm going to read next. And it's been, it was shortlisted for Children's Book of the Year. And it's written by Anna Walker. And it's published by Penguin Books. Florette. When May's family moved to a new home, May wanted to bring her garden with her. That's one of the things when you move houses, Jess. If you've got a garden, it's very hard to take it with you. But that's okay because there's a bit of an adventure going to a new place, isn't there? Mm. So we've got mum, dad, baby, dog, moving boxes. Her mum said she could make a new garden, but there was no room among the crowded rooftops for apple trees and daffodils. That's sometimes hard when you go from a big yard to a city where you don't have as much room. Instead of winding paths and leafy cubbies, all May could find was a cranky cat. And boxes, lots of boxes. May missed playing with her friends, listening to apple tree birds and gathering things for her treasure jar. She longed to chase butterflies in the wavy grass. Look, she's drawn herself a garden. She tried setting up a picnic, but the rain washed everything away. The apple tree fell over and the daisies went missing. Can you see her garden all on the boxes? But when the box fell over, the apple tree fell over. May was sick of those boxes. Down below, people moved like ants, trailing between the buildings. Beyond them, May spied an open space, a space with trees and a swing. When May's mum was ready to go to the shops, May ran downstairs and led the way. on a new path, a new adventure. She turned the corner and walked over the bridge between the buildings under the lampposts until she came to a park that was filled with tiny stones and empty chairs. May drew a daisy among the pebbles. Yes, her daisy. She listened to the hum of the city and the rustle of a tiny bird, an apple tree bird. May ran, the bird took flight. She followed to see it disappear. The bird took May into a leafy forest. Wow! It's got a sign here. It says Floret. But the forest was closed. Closed? May waited and waited. The bird did not come out. May stared at the entrance for a very long time. Then she noticed a stalk of green peeping through the gap. Can you see that tiny, tiny stalk? Wow! Creeping out of that forest, a piece of forest, May said. May walked around the corner and hopped across the tiny stones. She weaved her way through the empty chairs, under the lampposts. At home, May held her new treasure up to the light. On the window was her jar. A small jar with enough space for a plant to grow. Oh, so May has planted her plant in a jar. In May's garden, I think May has suddenly turned that one plant into many plants.
Wow.
I think May has discovered a new world.
Yeah.
From that tiny stalk from the Floret shop. Okay, one book that is a classic, that has been around for a long time. Pat Hutchins has written many books, and she had a character, has written about a character called Titch. And Titch has had many adventures through many books in this series. So this book is written by Pat Hutchins, and yes, hi.
You could say hi to Alison and her family. They're watching.
Hi, Alison. Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying the books in the session today. I don't know if you've ever borrowed Titch from the library, but this is a story about a little boy and like a plant, like a little boy grows. Titch by Pat Hutchins and published by Red Fox. Titch was little. His sister Mary was a bit bigger, and his brother Pete was a lot bigger. Pete had a great big bike. Mary had a big bike. And Titch had a little tricycle. Sometimes hard being the youngest in your family, don't you think? When your brothers and sisters look like giants to you. Pete had a kite that flew high above the trees. Mary had a kite that flew above the houses. And Titch had a pinwheel that he held in his hand. Pete had a big drum. Mary had a trumpet. And Titch had a little wooden whistle. Pete had a big saw. Mary had a big hammer. Bang, bang, bang. And Titch held the nails. Pete had a big shovel. Mary had a big flower pot. But Titch had the tiny seed. There was no point having a shovel and a pot when you didn't have a seed, is there, Jess?
No, you need the seed to grow.
And you know what? Titch's seed started to grow. And it grew and grew and grew. So guess what? Titch had something that was big too. His flower grew and grew big. I like Titch.
Alison was watching with Leo, her son. You can say hi to Leo.
Hi, Leo. Hope you come into the library sometime. Hope you're enjoying our session today.
He's 2.
2. Leo.
And we can also say hi to Mariana, who's watching.
Hi, Mariana. Hi. Hi, everyone.
All right.
All right. I think when we got... Jess found this great book for me this week. It just came in when I was planning this session. We didn't have this book. It's called The Bee Book, and it's a Dorling Kindersley book if you come to the library. I was saying, Jess and I do a little book chat about new books in the library, and Dorling Kindersley have been around for a long time, and they had a series in the 80s called the Eyewitness Guide, where they use photographs to describe things, and they've modernized their concept into a new series. Anyway, this is a book about bees. It might be, I just might show some pictures because it's very wordy.
Hello, everybody. We can
Hi,
do a
Jess.
little bit of a book chat.
Yeah, let's do a bit. This tells us all about the bees.
So this book I really loved because it just had such really nice illustrations in it. Don't you love like this?
I do, where you can see how the bees work.
You can see how the bees work. So let's bring it up to the camera and we can see all the antennae and the 5 eyes and the mouth of the bee. We get to see all inside the bee. And bees are just so important, like we were talking about before. They're really important for helping...
They're nature's transport system.
Yeah, they are. They're like the bus for nature.
They are the bus for nature. Without them, we'd have no plants and no flowers.
Yeah, and they make honey, which is nice. Honey is a bonus. We love honey. But the bees help pollinate plants, which help them to reproduce and grow fruit, which is really important. And we can see from this book all the different things that rely on bees for pollination. So there's strawberries, there's oranges, and there's coffee beans. All these important things that we need for bees, that we need bees for. So we thought this book was really cool.
Do you know what? We had some ideas. Because
cool.
sometimes we do craft, which we didn't have a lot of time to do today. But if I can show this to the camera, these are plastic bottles, recycling bottles that you cut and you can make to put your herbs in. You can paint them and make patterns and faces with them, which is a really cool idea. So you can use the bottom and the top of the bottle. So you just paint them and plant them. And then there was this other really cool idea, craft, where you can use a paper cup and you cut slots in them, and that you can just weave some wool around and you can make these really cool little baskets or pencil boxes. And if you're interested in these, please email us at contact us at randwick.nsw.gov.au, and Children's Services just say craft activities for the Sustainability Fair, and we'll send you...
Yeah, we can send you a photo. We can chat to you about what craft activities we recommend. We always love talking to people. We have a weekly book chat that we do.
We do.
Where we interact with people and chat about what new books come in, like this one. So we can talk about that as well.
And tomorrow you have a story time session.
We have a story time session tomorrow and a craft session tomorrow.
Yes, we do. So what are you doing tomorrow, Jess?
Tomorrow we're doing backyard bugs for the craft, which is really exciting. So you can go into your garden and collect all these beautiful leaves and bark and things like that. And we're going to create insects out of them in a craft activity. So I'm really excited for that.
Very excited.
And then in the story time, we're going to be learning about worms.
Worms. Wow.
Little
they're
wiggly
as good as
worms.
The bees.
They're good, aren't they?
The more worms in the dirt, the better, in the soil.
Yes. So we're talking about those wriggly little guys tomorrow in our story time as well. So make sure you head on over to our story time tomorrow, and hopefully we'll see you there.
Thanks for taking the time to see us, and I hope you're enjoying the Sustainability Fair.
This is Liz.
I'm Liz.
And Jessica, and we're from Randwick Library.
See ya.
See you later.
Bye. Thanks for watching.